Hi, and welcome back to another car conversation with your coach, Michelle. So listen, y'all, I'm excited about today's topic because, as you know, for the past couple of weeks, I've been talking to you all about what a narcissist is, how to deal.
Update failed.
Thank you. How to deal with them. But today, I want to talk about things that narcissistic parents say. And I also subtitled this, The Making of a Narcissist, okay? And the reason why I did that, and if you all can hear my fan, I do apologize. It's 51 degrees out, but it is quite windy and it is cold, okay? So I do have to cut my heat on, but I digress. So I subtitled this, The Making of a Narcissist, because if you think about it, a narcissist does not just appear overnight. A narcissist typically is developed. And they're typically developed at a very young age. And so, of course, you know, what we see and or hear and think and believe as we're growing up, we carry it into our adult lives as well. So growing up with a narcissistic parent or parents, depending on if you grew up with one or two parents, can shape your personality and behavior for life. So again, if you know someone that is a narcissist, trust and believe it came from somewhere. So narcissistic parents are self-centered and incapable of forming healthy, meaningful relationships. They have unrealistic demands, criticizing everything their children say and or do. Narcissistic parents tend to be controlling and manipulative. Oftentimes, they will compete with their kids. Let me put a pin right there. Do you know how silly that sounds? I mean, really, do you know how silly that sounds to want to compete with your child? I love my daughter. Lord knows I love her to the moon and back, but never, ever have I thought about competing with her. I just haven't. But narcissists, this is what they do. And so they see their own children as a threat. And that's even more sad. They're oftentimes verbally abusive and sometimes physically abusive. Toxic parents don't respect boundaries, and then they accuse their children of being insensitive to their needs, their wants, their desires. So here are 5 common things that narcissistic parents say and what they really mean. So let's jump right on in. Number 1, they'll say, "You are too sensitive." And this is said to discredit and demean the child's feelings when they hurt them. They are also letting the child know they won't be held accountable for the hurtful things they've said and or their actions. So the parent will say, "You're so sensitive," because in that way it takes the weight off of them for saying and doing whatever they did to cause their child to be so-called sensitive. They are suggesting that something is wrong with the child and not them. Number 2, they'll say, "Stop being so dramatic." And this is said to avoid, again, being held accountable for what they've done or to minimize or even deny the abuse that they've caused their child. The narcissistic parent will intentionally create drama, confusion, and insecurity, all while blaming the child for the way they overreacted. Isn't that interesting? The parent or parents will create this hostile environment, but then blame the child for overreacting. They will also suggest that the child's feelings are not relevant. That's sad. Number 3, they'll say, "I never said that." They always do something and then deny doing it, making you think there is something wrong with your memory. Come on now. By saying, "I never said that," the parent is telling the child that they should not be held, they should not hold them responsible for the hurt that they've that they've caused. So again, the parent will say, "I didn't say that." And then they feel like it relieves the burden off of them, i.e. the parent, to to be honest and take accountability for the hurt that they've caused the child. And again, that is just so sad. So oftentimes they will twist the truth and make you think that you're losing your mind. So have you ever met somebody that will twist the truth and say they didn't say something that you know daggone well they said? I may not remember names. I sometimes may not even remember your face, but I do remember what you said. But they will twist what you said to, again, make it seem like you're losing your mind. Oh, you must be losing it. I never said that. And it's like, yeah, you did. You did say it. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to leave it alone. But I've seen recently videos where Trump has said stuff, and then he'll come back and say that he didn't say it, or he'll say something opposite to what he's said before. But what he forgets is that stuff is recorded, and all they have to do is go back to the files and pull it up again. And it's like, yeah, you did say this, because here it is right here. The cameras were rolling and you were recorded saying exactly what you're sitting here trying to say that you didn't say. In my opinion, I do believe he is a narcissist, but we're going to move on from that. Number 4, a parent will say, I'm just trying to help you. Understand, the narcissist believes they always know what's best for everyone. That being said, they will offend and then blame you for not following their advice. Come on now. How do you offend someone and then blame you for not following their advice? So if you mess up, this will really give them the green light to act way worse than they normally would. Okay. Number 5, last but not least, you are so ungrateful. So they hurt you and then have the nerve to say you are ungrateful. Really, I'm ungrateful because you're hurting me 9 times out of 10 mentally, and I don't like it, but I'm ungrateful. Sometimes they will cut you off and not say anything to you, giving you the silent treatment, then making you wonder what you did wrong. Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. If somebody chooses to cut me off, honey, I am quite all right with it. I really, really am, because I have other things to do and other friends to sit and talk to and hang out with. So if you want to cut me off, give me the silent treatment, sweetie, sit in that on your own, because I'm not going to allow it to affect me. However, when we're talking about parents and young children, that can be hurtful for them, because that child has no idea why that parent is cutting them off and making them feel like they've done something wrong. And 9 times out of 10, they haven't done anything wrong at all. So they will deny being angry, but then send you the opposite message non-verbally. Now, y'all know, I'm trying to tell you something. People tell me all the time, I don't have a poker face, because if I'm pissed off about something, I may not say a word, but my face is definitely going to show it. And so this is what narcissistic parents do. They'll say they're not mad, but their silent messages show otherwise. You might get a rolling of the eyes. They may cut their eyes at you. They may snub their nose, or, just a whole plethora of things. But again, the important thing is they'll say that everything is okay, but the nonverbal message that they're sending out says something completely different. Oftentimes, they will say things like, you will feel sorry when I'm gone, to avoid taking responsibility for their actions, all while making you feel guilty and start having regrets. Yeah, they will go there and play that card. They'll do something to offend you, and then when you don't like it, they'll say, well, you know what, you're going to feel bad when I'm gone. No, they probably will feel good. Well, in the grand scheme of things, y'all know what I'm saying. Because if you've ever, thank God I did not, but if you've ever had to grow up in that environment, I'm pretty sure it is not the most pleasant thing. So for a parent to tell their child, you're going to feel sad when I'm gone, I highly doubt that they're going to feel bad. So Narcissistic parents use gaslighting phrases to create confusion and self-doubt, which gives them power. So let's talk about why they use gaslighting phrases. And I have 3 things to share with you on that. 1, they use those gaslighting phrases to intimidate you. That's why I said think back to, and gaslighting phrases, Google it, because there are just so many of them, too many of them to try to name. But they'll say things like, I didn't say that. Or like I said, they will basically say things to make you feel confused and trying to figure out, am I losing my mind? Did I say something wrong? Did I hear something wrong? So they do it to invalidate you. They do it to dismiss you. And they do it to reject you. Okay? Again, everything I'm sharing will be in the description box. So how do you deal with them? So I'm going to share 6 things in a bonus for now that you've gotten older. How do you deal with narcissistic parents? Because here's the thing, just because you've gotten older, that narcissistic parent does not change. They are who they are. They learned that behavior growing up. And so they are who they are. Can they be rehabilitated? Honestly, I don't think so. I truly do not think so. Because too many of them lack emotion. And they just don't know how to be anything other than what they are. So how do you deal with them? Number 1, limit the number of calls and texts that you send and receive. Okay, once a week if you want to, because they are still your parent. Once a week, hey, just checking on you, see how you're doing, and leave it at that. Don't make it an everyday thing. You don't have to talk for hours on end. Number 2, don't allow your parents to interfere with your life, and that's personal and or professional. Whatever you're doing in your personal professional life, keep it to yourself. If you have narcissistic parents, do not share what's going on in your life with them, because 9 times out of 10, when they get in their mood, they're going to flip the script and turn on you and use something that you've shared with them against you. Okay. Number 3, don't allow them into your relationships. If you are married or you have a significant other, I would suggest keeping them out of your relationships, because they will use their toxic behavior and it will start to spill over onto you. And if you're not careful, you in turn will share that with your other half. So keep them out of you. And when they ask, hey, how's so-and-so? They're wonderful. Even if you all had a knockdown, drag out fight earlier that day, they are wonderful. That's all they know. Or they're good, they're fine, whatever. They don't need to know what's going on in your life. Number 4, limit the amount of time that you spend with them. If you want to go by, because maybe they're aging now, go by and check on them, but limit the amount of time that you spend with them. This is for your best interest, because again, they have a way of flipping the script and saying things and doing things and making it seem like you're the problem when you're not. You're like, wow, I just came by to check on you. And now all of a sudden you're trying to make me feel some kind of way. So in order to avoid that, limit the time you spend. Maybe on Sundays after church, if you go to church, go on by, say, hey, just stopping in to check on you, see if you need anything. Maybe they need a ride to the grocery store to pick up their prescriptions or whatever the case may be. That's fine, because like I said, they are still your parents. And the Bible does tell us that we are to honor our mothers and our fathers, that our days may be long. So we still have to honor our parents, but you don't have to spend a whole lot of time. Number 5, don't allow your parents to verbally abuse you. This is where you have to set boundaries, and not just set boundaries, but you must set clear boundaries. I mean, those boundaries need to be as clear as the window that I'm looking out of sitting in my truck. That's how clear they have to be, because they need to fully understand what you will and you will not tolerate. You are not that little child anymore. You are an adult. So you let them know, if you want to be a part of my life, mom, dad, or mom and or dad, these are the things that I am not going to put up with. I just will not. And if you cannot abide by the rules that I have set, then it's best that we do not talk at all. Or, like I said, maybe you check on them once a week or something like that, but let them know that if they cannot abide by your rules, then you just can't be bothered with them. Because, and you know what, it's okay to say, you made my childhood miserable, so I will not allow you to come into my adult life and make that miserable. And number 6, last but not least, don't allow them to use gaslighting phrases on you. See, that gaslighting that they did when you were growing up, make it clear that's not acceptable. Or like I said, if they do something to cause you harm and then sit and say, well, I didn't say that, or you're being too soft, or whatever phrase they choose to use, don't accept it. You can look at them and say, okay, you know what you're doing right now is called gaslighting. And you're doing that because you want to take the onus off of you for the part that you played in all of this confusion and toxicity. And it's okay to let them know that. I'm aware of what you're trying to do, and it's not going to work. So please cut it out. It's okay to do that. Now, here's your bonus. Here's your bonus, and I need you to listen up. Never, and when I say never, I mean never second guess yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't you ever allow anybody to cause you to second guess yourself. If you know you didn't say something, then you stand on that. I did not say that. If you know that you did not do something, stand on that, because you know you didn't do it. But do not, and I mean do not, allow anybody to cause you to second guess yourself. You are allowed to feel the way you feel. A lot of times people will hurt you, they will wrong you, and then you get upset about it, and then they'll guilt you again because you didn't like the way they treated you the first time, and causing you to second guess yourself. Well, maybe I did overreact. Maybe I didn't need to say it the way I said it. Let me tell you something. Yes, you did. It needed to be said. Do not second guess yourself, ever. And I mean ever. Because again, people will wrong you, and then when you call them on the carpet about it, they try to make you second guess yourself by saying things like, well, you didn't have to be mean. You didn't have to say that, or whatever term they use. And then there you are sitting there second guessing yourself. Don't you do it. And please don't do it in my presence. But please, stop doing that, you guys. Stand on your principle. If you had a right to be upset, then daggone it, be upset. But don't allow anybody to make you think that you overreacted. Unless you really did overreact. So, y'all, having said that, that's it. That's all. I need to get on in this house because my stomach is growling. I'm quite hungry at this point. But hopefully something that I shared with you today is helpful for you as you understand how a narcissist becomes who they are. Because like I said, it doesn't just appear out of thin air. This is a learned behavior. This is something that they've seen and or experienced growing up. And unfortunately, when we have children, we can only impart, well, no, I'm not going to say that. That's not true. Because you do have people that had horrible childhoods, and they said, when I have kids, I'm not doing ABC, XYZ to my children or with my children. So that's not always true. But 9 times out of 10, parents are only parenting the way they experienced it growing up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, when you have a narcissistic parent, I'm not saying that they should be let off the hook, because this is what they experienced growing up, and they're only giving back what they've experienced. But what I'm saying is we kind of have to understand a little bit more why they are the way they are. It's not because they just want to be that way. That's what they experienced growing up. And I'm going to just throw it out there and say they have never worked through the issues that they experienced. And for a lot of them, even if they did, they're not going to change. That is just who they are. which is both sad and unfortunate. So hopefully something I said today resonates with you, helps you as you understand narcissistic people. If you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. You know I miss you when I don't get a chance to see you. Don't forget, you guys, tomorrow I will be doing another cooking video. So make sure you check that out. This is why I ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to tap the bell so that you don't miss anything. But I am doing another cooking video tomorrow. And I have a catch up with me video that I did right before this video. So make sure you check that out. And I think that's it. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I'm going to leave you all be for real. Something else I was going to say. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Don't forget, I want to see you all in church on Sunday. But enjoy the rest of it. And don't forget to get your palm, because tomorrow's Palm Sunday. I know I'm going to get my piece of palm. But again, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. No matter what you do or where you go, always have fun. You know I'm a big proponent of having fun. But do so sensibly, responsibly, and please be safe. Watch your surroundings, no matter where you go or who you're around. Watch your surroundings and be safe, okay? And please, you guys, please, 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 if you're going anywhere and there's going to be alcohol, please do not get your tail behind that wheel and you know you've been drinking. Please don't do that. I want to encourage you, set up your ride. You've got Uber, you've got Lyft, you've got cabs. You can phone a friend or whatever it is that you need to do. But if you know that you're going to be drinking, please do not go out there and get behind the wheel and potentially hurt somebody else because of something stupid that you did, okay? Now, having said that, you know the drill, you know the spiel. I love you all to the moon and back, and there is nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can ever do to change it, because I love you. I want nothing but the best for you, and this is why I always tell you that the best is yet to come for me, but the best is yet to come for you as well. Love you all. We'll talk again on Monday.